The cash register Congress. House and Senate members getting rich trading off of insider information, it is said.
People like Nancy Pelosi, who bought stock in a credit card company like Visa, as major legislation to reform the credit industry was actually pending. 60 Minutes confronted the former speaker. Listen.
What I'm asking is, do you think it's all right for a speaker to accept a very preferential and favorable stock deal?
Well, we didn't.
And you participated in the IPO.
Well, I have many
and at the time you were
investments,
Speaker of the House. You don't think it was a conflict of interest or had the appearance of a conflict of interest?
No, it only has the appearance if you decide that you're going to have elaborate on a false premise. But it's not true, and that's that.
I don't understand what part's not true.
Yes, sir. That I would act upon an investment.
Peter Schweizer broke the story. He's a fellow at the Hoover Institute and the author of the new book called Throw Them All Out. That is what the 60 Minutes segment was based on. Peter, good to have you.
Great to be here.
Okay, Nancy Pelosi trying to depict that she is absolutely innocent, and yet the information seems to indicate she and her husband made hundreds of thousands of dollars in just a couple of days on that deal.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you can get an IPO in a very hot stock, you can make a lot of money. And in the cases in March of 2008, Visa was going public. It was impossible for individual investors to get shares. Even the big boys like Goldman Sachs were complaining they couldn't get them. The Pelosi's managed to get 5,000 shares, about $220,000 worth. The stock went up and they made more than a couple $100,000 in the course of a couple of days. So it was tremendously profitable.
And the thing that's the underlying theme of this book is not illegal.
That's right.
Maybe immoral, not illegal. And another example, John Kerry, right before the TARP bailout, and found out, he's on these committees, finds out, oh, wait a second, I think I'm going to buy Citigroup, $500,000 worth, and about $200,000 worth of Bank of America. Next thing you know, the banks get bailed out by the federal government. He says he doesn't make his own trades, but come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a question of timing. When the SEC looks at executives and on this question of insider trading, they're looking at access to information and timing. And what you find is that people like Senator Kerry, whether it's the 2009 health care debate, whether it's the prescription drug benefit in 2003, whether it's the bank bailout, there's this amazing level of timing of picking the winners and dumping the losers. And so you have to wonder, is there information going on that he's exchanging with brokers or whatever, so that he's benefiting from it? Because the timing is just so curious.
What is also very curious is the fact that if a staff member for one of these members of Congress were to trade on the inside information, they could go to prison. However, if their bosses, the esteemed madam or sir from a particular state, does just that, it's a cakewalk. They can make money.
Yeah, really, the only class in America that is exempt from these insider trading laws are members of Congress. And it seems to me that the first people you'd want to watch would be the politicians in Washington.
You get $174,000 in actual salary, put another $100,000 with perks on top of that.
Right.
That should be enough.
Yes.
And you found out, too, former Speaker Denny Hastert came in, a guy who had a farm worth $100,000. He left with $11 million. How does that happen?
Well, in the case of Hastert, he did what I point out in the book is the land deal. And this is, again, completely legal, amazingly so. In Hastert's case, he went out and bought about 160 acres of farmland, put an earmark in the transportation bill to build a $220 million highway with our money near his property. That, of course, more than doubled the value. He turned around and sold it and made a couple of $1 million off of just that one deal. And this is completely legal. That's what I think is so stunning.
Right. And also your book and the report that we've seen, it's bipartisan in your targets. Yet Pelosi's team said that you were, in fact, part of a right-wing smear job.
Yeah, no, she was pretty upset. She put a lot of pressure on 60 Minutes. She's been going around calling me a hatchet man. The reality is both parties do this. 60 Minutes and Newsweek both investigated this, and so this is not a right-wing smear
And what
job.
makes this such an easy read, even for someone like me, is that you go back in history. And what did Thomas Jefferson say? The original intent of government. What did he say?
Yeah. Well, Jefferson pointed out that in his case, and the people he knew, he came into office and left office with his hands as clean and as empty as they were before. And I don't think you can say that about many politicians today. A lot of them come in of modest means and leave multimillionaires, and that is just simply wrong.
Well, maybe something will happen because Scott Brown of Massachusetts proposed this bill based on your information yesterday, and Rick Perry made it part of his platform. The book is called Throw Them All Out.